The boy. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about one of the biggest tragedies that have happened on the West Coast recently, man. So Nipsey Hussle lost his life a few years back, man, and it kind of put a stain on the West Coast for a second there, but eventually, you know, West Coast music, very strong presence in the music game, man. But when that situation happened, man, what did you think?
It was a hard hit to the city. You know, and coming up in gang culture, you know, a lot of people always use this term, ain't nobody bigger than the program. And to me, what his accomplishments was and his accolades, I think, you know, it's fair to say that he was bigger than the program. Because when I say bigger than the program, a lot of people talking about, oh, he just owned commercial real estate in the section. Nah, man, he had Vector 90, man. He was dealing with the, you know, giving back to the youth, you know, building basketball courts and donating his money back into the community. You got to be bigger than the program to do something like that. You see what I'm saying? Because when you ain't bigger than the program, you can't afford to do that. You know what I'm saying? Now you're a resource, you know? So I think it hit the city hard, man. A lot of that, during that time, you know, a lot of people was just like, where the footage at from the store? Because it was cameras all over the store. And the smartest thing Black Sam did was never reveal it to the police. That was some gangster-ish to me, because the way that happened, it probably would have showed people inside that store who watched it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I truly believe somebody seen it happen. You know, they didn't do nothing. You know, I think Black Sam was enraged. You know, a lot of them dudes, you know, they didn't protect Nip. You know, coming up in the streets, you always protect the one with the bag if you want to keep longevity.
Now, what's crazy is you made a point about the fact that, you know, Black Sam didn't release the footage, but eventually the footage came out and we saw it clearly. You know, Eric Holder taking Nipsey Hussle's life. At that time, you know, they say a lot of stuff was going crazy in the streets, man. What do you think? Like, do you think, like, and we saw the whole situation with the whole ceremony and everything afterwards, like his funeral, whatnot, the whole city shutting down the Staples Center. How big of a blow was this for the West Coast, really?
It was bigger than Tupac. He was bigger than any artist that died. The way he had the city, far as doing the marathon lap, it was unprecedented. I mean, if you look at the number and how he did, he went all through hoods. He went through the Bloods, the Crips. He went through some territory, man. Ain't nobody did that before. I honestly believe his passing was like the biggest marathon service that's ever been done on the West Coast. Ain't nobody did it like that. And let's be clear. He was universal. You see what I'm saying? You had people flying in from all over the states to come to the smart. He was the first dude who had a smart store in a city. You see what I'm saying? You take your phone and click one of his tags on his clothing and you get the mixtape. You know what I'm saying? It was a smart store. So he was bridging, you know, Silicon Valley to the city, to the hood. You can't, a lot of people don't want to give him credit because he's not a person that really takes credit independently, but he was somebody who said, my team, you know, them dudes, he had a cold crew over there. His crew all got down. If you notice, none of them even did original interview statements that was really a part of All Money In. You got the Cowboys who say, oh, that was like my son. I helped start his career. You a lie, bro. I went to Hamilton High School with Nipsey, bro. I went to high school with Rempau. We all went to the same high school. I even remember when Nipsey was going up to West LA College for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So I never seen Cowboy picking him up from school and none of that, bro. All that shit is just cap. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Around the time, me and Nipsey went to the same high school, man. We all went to Rempau. Rempau is the closest out of all of them. And then J Stone, you know?
Now, what's crazy is, okay, well, and I hate to keep saying it's crazy because maybe it's believable at this point, but what's wild is when it comes to Cowboy, he's definitely painted the image that he was kind of the mentor of Nipsey Hussle. So are you saying that wasn't true either?
Hell no, man, Cowboy can't even read or write, man. No, he was under, you know, drug addiction at that time. Now, everybody in LA know that, man, he was the help, man. You know, Nipsey, he said in the interviews himself, Nipsey never invited him to them shows. He made an effort upon himself to pull up. You wasn't invited, bro. You just pulled up to say I'm showing support. You could have shown support from FaceTime. You had to drive to a whole nother state. Nigga, he could have bought your ticket if you was really an asset to the team. You was a liability. And I think, you know, when we look at this, Bricc, baby, he wasn't at the funeral. You know, a lot of them dudes, everybody talking about why Rempau was still at the funeral, because that was his real friend. It was bigger than this gang banging, you know, relationship that everybody tried to portray with Rempau and Nipsey. You know, that was his childhood friend. Like, them dudes been knowing each other about 6, 7, 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? And shit, nigga, you see, he was there.
Now, Rempau has never done an interview, and I don't think Jay Stone has done an interview either, have they?
None of them. That's a no-go. When you got that type of tight-knit crew, them dudes really get down. You know what I'm saying? All them dudes are really, them dudes, you know, they know to sacrifice their life for him. I can't speak for Rempau in that situation, but, you know, Rempau was a low-key dude. He played the back scene. You know, I ain't never seen him be no rah-rah person anyway.
Oh. The rumor was that he ran on Nipsey. You know, like, I don't want to, and I'm not saying that's what happened. And you're saying that would, I mean, if he did.
I'm saying he ran. Let me make it clear. I'm saying he ran. He feared for his life. I mean, you know, my thing is, let's be clear, man. You know, we always say what we wouldn't do when we ain't in that position. You see what I'm saying? I done seen some real shootouts in broad daylight where I done seen dudes run who had guns on them before too. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes was bigger than me, and I'm standing out there with my 4.5 shooting it out, and nigga, you ran to the car. Like, I done seen that happen plenty of time. Everybody in the streets ain't tough, and everybody that's tough ain't street. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Can we blame him? Can we blame him though? You know, we ain't never. That's not his character. How can you get mad at him to be something that he wasn't? You know, we never seen him fight. It's never been publicly, you know, displayed on the internet. We ain't seen him do that, man. You know, he a hell of a rapper. He staying low, he stay in the back scene, and he mind his business. But then, you know, my thing is this: we seen Cowboy knock out people for even asking somebody where they from in that parking lot. You know what I'm saying? And you putting your hands on people for even want to make sure that the security is tight. But you know, you give it slack about Rempau running, but you took the stand. You know what I'm saying? You didn't take the stand for any other 6-0 member that died over there. But for Nipsey, you took the stand. It just don't make sense.
Now, there was a lot of debate about that. A lot of people talked about the fact that Cowboy took the stand and that he was essentially trying to diss Rempau for running on Nip. But like you're saying, like you're throwing out your bad for somebody else's, you know, or paying yourself good when throwing out your own bad or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. So basically you're trying to make it seem like what he did was wrong when you said you went to high school with Rempau, you went to the high school with Nipsey, and you know all them. So you like, man, it just wouldn't even make sense that you heard that maybe he, you know, would have retaliated or anything like that because that's not his character.
Right. Everybody that gangbang ain't no killer. Everybody that gangbang ain't no shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we know this. Everybody is not solid in the streets, man. A lot of these dudes ain't been battle tested. But you know, for some reason, I just found it odd that, you know, your whole motive of trying to, you know, tear down Rempau in regards to him running. What did you do, bro? Like, you ran out the store immediately. Soon as he kicked Nipsey in the head after he was done shooting him, you ran out the store and ate it to Nipsey. How did you know where his body fell while he was in between that car? You see what I'm saying? It was cameras inside the store right there. You see what I'm saying? You ate it to him. You didn't try to go chase down, Eric Holder. You didn't try to, you know, call out his name. You just ate it to Nip and started crying, you know? And I felt like if you really wanted to make it even, you could have did what you had to do. You could have held court in the streets, but you didn't. You decided to take a stand. And I think he's less of a man for that because you come from gang culture. You come from violence. You had to embrace violence. So for somebody to promote violence and embrace violence, then you want to turn around and get on the stand because if Nipsey died, Nipsey would have never wanted him to take that stand. Never. Never. I don't care how you cut that. You know, you dishonored his name in reference of being a friend. Nobody else, his brother didn't take the stand. Nobody took the stand. But shoot, you was the person who was the OG. You was supposed to, you know, handle your candle when it came to him. You was supposed to protect Nip. But, you know, you want to be a boss so bad, you envied what he had that you wanted it for yourself instead of go getting it on your own time. You know, you compromised some and dropped the ball. I do think that, but
now another point of this, and I know I keep saying this is crazy, but it is when you look at it, because after Nipsey Hussle passes away, you know what I mean? You have Cowboy becomes actually an online kind of celebrity. But out of somewhere, he starts having money because you start seeing some crazy cards over there. You start seeing flashing a lot of money. Like, and I don't know what his business is or what he does, but prior to that, it doesn't seem like he had that type of money. Now, what do you think, like, success or this new success come from, I should say? There you go.
You know what? I'm gonna keep it all the way suave with you, right? I ain't never seen him give no money to them youth over there. We ain't seen him donate some t-shirts and Nipsey and go up to the school, do lunch for the kids. None of that, man. You know, he took his money and he was selfish with it because he ain't never had that type of money. I think, you know, through the course of years of these interviews, you know, he's saying he trying to stop these guys from, you know, crashing out, but we ain't never seen you help the youth publicly. You know what I'm saying? You get on these podcasts and you interview for years. Nobody from All Money In ever did an interview. You see what I'm saying? I think when Black Sam did the interview with Big Boy, he told the truth. And it was enough said at that point that let you know that Cowboy wasn't nothing to All Money In. You know what I'm saying? He's a, you know, an ex-drug user who envied Nipsey.
Yeah. And it seemed like, it was almost in the reverse order because when he tells the story, and he's told it several times on other platforms, is that, you know, he was Nipsey's kind of mentor or whatnot. He went to jail. He's seen him hanging out, told him to join rolling 60s or whatnot. Now you're saying all that is cap, but then also after Nipsey becomes this humongous rapper in the game, I'm talking about pulling up in not, you know, Range Rover, in Rolls Royce instead of hood, Lauren London, just a success story. It's like Cowboy was looking up to him at that point. He even said it himself. But now Cowboy seems like he's in a position where he seems to be doing all right.
How? I can't see it. You know what I'm saying? He's still wearing that same purple jersey from 2019. You know, 1 minute, you know, I looked at his career. I don't like him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like him. I honestly feel like this, man. If you was that important to Nipsey, you know, Cross birthday passed. You didn't do no shout out, happy birthday, Cross. This was his son. You know what I'm saying? We never heard you honor his kids, but you're selling Nipsey Hussle's merch in your own store downtown. Downtown LA, you got the mural. You tell everybody that was your best friend. You didn't reconnect with Nipsey until he was 18. He remember you was slung out on dope and on drugs before he was on the rise to come up. You know what I'm saying? And then when you got out of prison, he was already 18. I think he went to, you know, to his father's country, you know, and then came back, you know, and was grinding, bro. You wasn't out there pushing that mixtape with that man like that. You know, he know that, but ain't nobody's going to contest to that in regards because they know ain't nobody trying to fight no smoker. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to fight somebody over what his story of the truth is. I mean, that's why I tell people like this, man. Don't destroy somebody's life with the lie because somebody could come and destroy your life with the truth.
Nah, wise word. Now, what about a guy by the name of OG Bear Claw? Do you know of him?
I know of him. I don't know too much about him though.
Okay, because it was said that he might have really been Nipsey's mentor into the rolling 60s and all that, as opposed to like, you know, Cowboy's story.
I would definitely I would say more likely that's possible than Cowboy, for sure.